Over 2 million people live in Riverside County without a local news perspective. Until now. Spirit of Innovation, bringing you the need to know and good to know local regional county news, creating community and inspiration for business and residents.
Hello, welcome to our Thanksgiving November episode of Spirit of Innovation, a local magazine-style news and information program brought to you by nonprofit JDS Creative Academy. I'm Mia Dignan.
In today's episode, we talk to California State Senator Ben Wesso about the impact of a new law that helps Native Americans reclaim ancestral lands. We meet an incredible young lady whose unique outlook on life is sure to inspire you. We launch a new Did You Know segment where Temecula Council member Matt Ron discusses a state law impacting our area. And we bring you Thanksgiving holiday events, plus good-to-know happenings in our community.
Now for your need-to-know news and information. New COVID-19 cases across the nation are trending upwards, while, fortunately, deaths related to COVID have declined. This means everyone must still remain vigilant over the holidays and get a vaccine booster if you're eligible. Riverside County-run vaccine clinics continue to administer vaccines and boosters. The state of California says that anyone 18 and older who wants a booster can get one. And earlier this month, the clinics began offering Pfizer vaccinations to children between the ages of 5 and 11. As parents weigh the benefits of vaccinating their children, it's important to know that millions of people have received the vaccine with only mild side effects. The CDC states that these vaccines have undergone and will continue to undergo the most intensive safety monitoring in U.S. history. Speaking of vaccines, fall marks the start of flu season, and the CDC recommends an annual flu vaccine for everyone 6 months of age and older. Contracting both flu and COVID is particularly dangerous, so it's important to maintain preventative measures to keep all viruses at bay. So remember, frequently wash your hands with soap and warm water. Stay home and avoid others when you're sick. Keep your hands away from your face and cover coughs and sneezes. Now it's time for our new segment, Did You Know?, where we share information that brings your attention to important issues impacting our region. So, did you know? California has a law that limits public and city input on certain types of affordable housing construction. That's what's happening with the Rancho Highland project, located next to the duck pond in Temecula. I talked with Temecula City Council member Matt Ron to learn more about the project.
The Rancho Highlands project was recently approved, and we call that a ministerial approval, which means it never actually comes to the Planning Commission or to the City Council. It's just handled within the planning department itself, which ultimately means that the public does have little to no say. And unfortunately, it also means that the city has little or no to say about the project as well.
California Housing Crisis Act limits cities from turning down housing projects as long as 20% of the units are designated as affordable housing.
They basically take away all review and all environmental review, in particular CEQA, from the process, which is typically a costly procedure. Now, on paper, that might make sense, but the city is left holding the bag, and it's not able to ensure that projects have limited impact on our community. And we're talking about traffic impacts, all sorts of things that you would normally do in an environmental review. And that also the design and everything else fits within the character of the community. When this project first came forward, it physically separated the affordable housing units from the market rate units. There was a fence that blocked the affordable housing units from the market rate units. And the amenities were not to be shared. So the pool and the clubhouse in the market rate units were not part of the affordable amenities. Well, you created a segregated community. And we said, absolutely not.
In addition, new provisions in state law give power to the state attorney general to launch investigations into cities and counties that do not build enough housing for residents.
And sadly, this, in my view, is the final manifestation of what has been a very aggressive posture and an erosion of local control of cities and counties. They're going a step further to officially confirm that the city is the bad guy in this process, right? And that we are presumed guilty and lacking in our efforts to build enough housing. And that is absolutely not the truth, at least not for the city of Temecula.
State affordable housing laws are making an impact all over Riverside County. Spirit of Innovation will continue to report on this issue in future episodes. As Thanksgiving approaches and we prepare for a weekend of food and family, let's not forget those who lived on this land before us. November is Native American History Month, and although the United States and Native Americans share a troubled history, a new California law works to make amends regarding their ancestral lands. Spirit of Innovation presents a detailed look into the new law and how it impacts tribal communities in Riverside County.
Land is more than just property. To indigenous peoples, it's their lifeblood of existence. They believe people do not own the land, rather they belong to it. In 1850, California Native Americans were displaced when they were removed from their traditional lands and relocated to reservations. In June 2019, Governor Newsom signed an executive order formally apologizing to California's Native Americans for historical mistreatment and neglect. State Senator Ben Whistle took another step in the healing process by authorizing Senate Bill 712, which aims to assist tribes in reclaiming their ancestral lands. The benefits impact Native Americans across the state, including the 12 sovereign Native American tribes in Riverside County.
712 simply allows Native Americans to apply for acquisition of ancestral lands to the federal government without having an automatic opposition imposed by the county governments. They're given a fair process. They can acquire lands that will allow them to solve some social and cultural problems that they have.
Reservations, especially rural ones, often struggle to provide adequate housing, safe communities, and quality health care and nutrition to the residents.
A lot of Native Americans, especially ones in California, were given lands that were not arable, not usable, usually on hillsides, in many cases without access to drinkable water. In some cases, the land was checker patterned, like in Palm Springs, where if you actually see a map of Palm Springs, the blocks of the city were formed to mimic the blocks of the land of the reservation. So you go, one block is reservation, the next block is not, the next block is reservation, in a way where you could not really develop a community. You couldn't do anything of economic value with the land, and it was designed that way to keep Native Americans disorganized. And so if they have the means to acquire a land that will make it easier for them to travel within their own communities and to develop their own communities and provide for their families in a safe way, that just makes all the sense in the world that we allow them to do that.
Non-Indian business owners are incentivized to start business on tribal trust land. They can be offered discounted leasing rates as well as be exempt from any state and county land use restrictions.
I really believe that we have just a wonderful culture in the state of California that we need to preserve. California is the state with the most amount of tribes in the United States of America. We're blessed to have this community in our state, but we have to take additional action to allow them to live in our state with the protections they deserve.
While we can't erase the wrongs of the past, we can work together to find ways to improve the lives of California Native American people.
If you would like to learn more about this new law, visit our website for additional information. Have you ever known someone that is so inspiring you want to spotlight them? Well, that's what happened when our executive producer introduced SOI correspondent Karina Corona to a young lady who rises above her limitations to achieve all that she wants to do.
My name is Karina Corona. I have cerebral palsy. I do not let it define or limit me as a person. I recently met Faith Guilbault, a young lady who also has cerebral palsy and cortical vision impairment. She has a unique outlook on life that she shares, and I thought it was important for others to understand her perspective.
We want to be treated the same, even though we're different, but that doesn't make you special, it just makes you unique. Whenever people think I have limitations, it could be frustrating at first, but they'll get it if you explain it to them.
And explain it she has. Faith's perseverance was recognized by the production company By Kids, who asked her to direct a documentary about her life.
I don't have much hand control if I were to use the camera, so Joyce and Kat are helping me with the camera, and I'm just kind of directing.
How we began or even started the process about doing the documentary, Faith's World, was because we were involved with Runway of Dreams, which is a nonprofit that works with different organizations and brand name for adaptive clothing. And they were in touch with By Kids, and they wanted to do a documentary about a person living with a disability. So we met with them, and that's how it all kind of came about. And it was just basically showing our daily lives, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Faith's daily life includes going to school, of course, but also indoor skydiving and horseback riding.
I wanted to open people's eyes to different disabilities. Inspiration means a whole lot to me, because I think that is something that everyone could look up to, especially getting inspired with someone with a disability, because they're like, that's different. And that's why I did the documentary, to inspire people too.
Faith also uses the documentary to share her frustrations.
Because sometimes people are actually like, don't understand and don't see my point and where I'm coming from. They're like, why is she in a walker? That's weird.
I found the documentary very interesting because, you know, me myself, I live with CP, and I think people tend to rush to judgment, and then they don't get to know you. So then they think, oh, I get told all the time, oh, I'm so lucky because I just get to wheel around in a wheelchair. No, you don't understand all the hard things I have to go through. So it just irritates me when people just rush to that judgment.
Yeah, one of my roommates said that I was the only one in a wheelchair, and she's like, you're so lucky you get to wheel around in the wheelchair. And I'm like, no, because I have to do a lot of different things and it could be hard. But I guess she didn't know the aspect of it, because I was the only one in a wheelchair, and believe me, she wouldn't be jealous.
Faith has more projects in the works, including a new podcast with her parents.
We're not set up yet, but I'm gonna do kind of like you, where you interview kids, and then my mom's gonna interview the adults, and then my dad is gonna interview the dads. In the future, I see like doing a reality show. My mom says I should write a book, but I might not do that until I'm older and have kids, because I feel like that would be something fun to do with her kids.
Faith may be young, but isn't she inspiring? She shows us that those with disabilities can do anything we put our minds to, and we want to be treated just like everyone else.
Thank you, Karina. You're pretty inspiring yourself. If you would like to see the documentary Faith's World in its entirety, we have the link on our website. We're heading full throttle into the busy holiday season, and there is a lot going on that's good to know. Here to help kick it off and share some current happenings and upcoming special news is SOI crew member Brian Wong and Spirit of Innovation reporter J.K. Weldon.
Thanks, Mia. It's almost time for Thanksgiving, the time for being thankful for the people you love.
You're absolutely right, Brian. The season of thanks is upon us. And with many people being unable to spend time with family last year, I'm sure there will be a lot of thanks being given this year.
So tell me, JK, what does Thanksgiving means to you?
Well, to me, Thanksgiving is just that, an opportunity to give thanks. I come from a small town, so this time of year was always about being grateful for the things we did have instead of complaining about the things we didn't.
That's totally true. And did you know that one way to show your gratitude is through giving to charity? Have you heard about Giving Tuesday?
Yes, I have. It's coming up next week on November 30th. It's a giving campaign that was created in 2012 and takes place globally every year on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's a day that encourages people to think about others and a great reminder to donate to your favorite charity.
Nonprofit JDS Creative Academy is one of my favorite places to go. I'm thinking that people can donate to JDSCA on Giving Tuesday if they want to.
Well, I'm glad you like coming here, Brian. And that's a really good idea because we have a goal to raise $1,500 to buy 100 brand new chairs. And you must be as excited as I am because I hear that there will be a new broadcast program featuring our participants.
Yes, it's called SOI Talk. It's a podcast where we interview experts on some new topics that we look forward to sharing with our community of listeners. And hopefully, even find a few more. It'll be ready next year.
I can't wait for that. And I think it'll be really fun to produce and listen to. Well, Brian, I would like to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
And a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family too, JK. But don't eat too much turkey, unless you want to get sleepy.
I'll keep that in mind. Back to you, Mia.
Thanks, Brian and JK. I'm thankful too for my family, health, and getting to be the host of Spirit of Innovation and good friends like all of you. Continuing with more good to know, what began as a simple red box of donated food during the pandemic has now grown into the fully functional nonprofit Good Samaritan Community Pantry.
What really inspired me to start this was on Friday the 13th, March 13th, when COVID really hit. I was in a grocery store, and what I saw in the store were little ladies being knocked over, people grabbing things off of the shelves, and fear, panic. For me, fear goes to action and didn't go to what can I get for me, but what about the ones that can't leave the house, can't get out, the veterans, the cancer patients, the people that are vulnerable. So that's where it started, just a passion and some fear and anxiety I saw in the community, and took action that day. I had a little red box on my front porch, and I left it out there and I started posting on social media, and it started filling up. And a week went by and it was overflowing. Every time I opened my door, there was fresh food people really wanted to give. So the little red bin was only good for about 2 weeks. It's the community fueling it. That's the neighbors fueling it. And the Temecula is fueling it. It's just like this little world right here. They say build it and they'll come. And Temecula and Marietta and everyone, the businesses came.
Months into it, I said, we got to make this into a business. All of a sudden, you know, out of your little garage, you're feeding 400 people.
And one fridge.
And we had one refrigerator, right? I think you have to have the passion to do anything in life, especially something like this. Having passion, that drives you, and that's what started this whole organization.
When we got food, I cried. I still do. When somebody takes the time to bring food to a stranger and they don't even know where the food's going, it gets me somewhere going, humanity is still here. The people who are really donating and really have the passion are the ones that we've helped. Some people, because they got groceries during their crucial time, they're the ones now that are donating. So they want to give back. Well, I have no doubt in my mind that Good Samaritan is going to be a household name. And that's good because it's neighbors feeding neighbors and community feeding neighbors.
Good Samaritan Community Pantry is gearing up for a busy holiday season and need all of the help they can get, from food donations to volunteers. Go to our website to find out how you can get involved. If providing a holiday meal for your family is a burden, you can also reach out to the Reliance Church, who are giving out boxes of Thanksgiving food. We have a link to that organization on our website as well. There's even more good to know news happening in our community. Here is JDS Creative Academy intern Erin Porras to help me share the info.
Thanks, Mia. During the season of giving, let's not forget our seniors. The Riverside County Office on Aging is accepting holiday gift donations until December 3rd. Items needed include toiletries, adult coloring books, and colored pencils, socks, scarves, and blankets. Riverside County also offers help to new mothers. The wellness group Mamás y Bebés meets virtually to support women who are pregnant or have children under 12 months. Those who complete the program receive free diapers and a $50 Target gift card. And the county's Nurse Family Partnership provides nurse home visits to first-time mothers who are eligible for WIC. During the 2.5-year program period, nurses help new moms make their homes safe and provide referrals to healthcare, childcare, job training, and more. We don't want to forget our teens who need structure and support after school. Take them to the Teen Zone at Temecula's Community Rec Center, where they'll be engaged with safe, fun activities. Yearly membership is just $1.
Community is important. A great way to show community support is shop local. Small Business Saturday is on November 27th this year. This designation encourages consumers to support local business by shopping small, keeping our dollars in the community and region. Remember, small business service providers too. Purchase a gift certificate for a loved one to their favorite source of enrichment. Also, on Saturday, November 27th, you can cheer on Temecula Valley High School's football team, Go Bears, as they play for the state championship. They face Newport Harbor High School at 7:30 p.m. on Temecula's home field. The first night of Hanukkah is Sunday, November 28th. Head over to Temecula's Duck Pond for a Menorah lighting ceremony at 4 p.m. There's also a Menorah lighting at the Hanukkah Festival held at the City of Riverside's historic courthouse on November 29th and on December 3rd at Central Park in Menifee. Happy Hanukkah to all who celebrate. You know, the Christmas countdown has officially begun when you start seeing Christmas tree lights all around the region. And there are plenty of lightings to enjoy, such as the tree lighting celebration with Santa at Temecula's Duck Pond on November 29th. The annual lighting ceremony at Palm Desert's Shops on El Paseo on December 3rd. And at the Winterfest Festival and Parade in downtown Lake Elsinore on December 4th. If you really want to see some beautifully decorated trees, be sure to visit Christmas Tree Lane at the Temecula Promenade. The hashtag JDSFamily took a field trip there last week to check out the festivities. Christmas Tree Lane isn't just decor, it's an annual fundraiser put on by Habitat for Humanity. Board member and committee chair Jackie Steed told us that it's their 15th year of holding the event. Community stakeholders and businesses sponsor the trees. Then a team of talented designers put the trees together. If you're interested in winning one of the trees, you can purchase tickets for $1 each and hope your tickets gets drawn on December 17th. When you go through, look for the Christmas tree sponsored by JDS Creative Academy. We can't wait to find out who wins it.
JDS Creative Academy invites you to their winter showcase on December 18th and 19th. Take a look.
Join us at JDS Creative Academy's Winter Showcase, featuring Temecula's finest talent in the visual, performing, and digital arts. Enjoy a performance of the classic Grease, featuring our musical theater class. Let your senses be dazzled by a fashion show starring the unique work of our fashion design students. Cheer on the creativity of our screenwriting class as they debut scenes from their original work.
That looks like a lot of fun. Or maybe you're into the digital arts? The 6th annual 3-day festival conference and competition dates are locked in for April 2022. DigiFest Temecula is currently accepting entries for the digital media competition. Check this out to find out more.
Submissions for DigiFest are now open. Early deadline is January 28th, 2022, and our late deadline is March 25th.
turn in something you created, or go out and create something new. Visit www.digifesttemecula.org for more info.
I'm excited already. To find out more about all the good to know happenings we've mentioned in our show, check out the Spirit of Innovation website. Over to you, Mia.
Thank you, Erin, and thank you to all of our viewers for joining us for this episode of Spirit of Innovation. You can find Spirit of Innovation on Rivco TV, local Murrieta and Temecula stations, and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on social media using the hashtag JDSFamily to keep up with everything that's happening here in the studio and in Riverside County. Don't miss the SOI training crew on radio station 102.5 The Vine with the JDS Creative Academy Community Spotlight 7 days a week. Also, tune into YouTube at SOI_news for weekly updates by the SOI training crew. We love hearing from you. Let us know if there's a Riverside County issue or an event that you want us to cover or have feedback about. Keep an eye out for a new Spirit of Innovation episode on December 21st. From Diane and Scott Strand and the whole hashtag JDSFamily, have a very happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. I'm Mia Dignan.
And I'm Mary Plors.
SOI out.